Most people think the final move to make before retirement is to buy something, to finally secure that perfect asset, to lock in that dream. You're wrong. And that wrong thought is what will drain your accounts dry while you sit there wondering what happened. I'm Kevin O'Leary, and I'm not here to talk about dreams. I'm here to talk about survival. Retirement doesn't care about your sentimental attachments. It doesn't care about your past wins. It is a cold mechanical equation of cash in versus cash out. And if you walk into it holding the wrong pieces, it will chew you up and spit you out broke. I've built and sold companies. I sit on boards. I see how capital flows, and I see how people lose it all the time, not with a bang, but with a slow, desperate whisper as they realize their math never added up. The single most important skill isn't accumulation in your 50s and 60s. It's brutal surgical elimination. Today, I'm going to tell you the 5 things you must sell right now before your last day of work. Not might, not consider, must. This is not a suggestion. This is a financial evacuation order for your own future. Listen closely or pay the price for the next 30 years. The first thing you sell, and you do it tomorrow, is your ego's idea of a home. That building you live in is not a trophy. It is not a monument to your career. It is a liability, masquerading as an asset. And the second, it no longer fits the practical reality of your daily life. It becomes a cancer on your retirement portfolio. I don't care about your memories in the kitchen. The bank doesn't care about your sentimental value. All that matters is the cash flowing out of your account every single month for taxes, for insurance, for upkeep, for heating empty rooms you haven't walked into in years. You are paying a massive premium to store your old furniture. Let me be brutally clear. Your home is only an asset if it is generating income or freeing up capital. Otherwise, it is a consumption item, and a wildly expensive one. I see it constantly. Couples clinging to a 4,000 cubic foot museum of their past, writing checks for $25,000 a year in property taxes alone, while they're terrified to withdraw $4,000 for a vacation. Their house rich in cash, poor, and it's a self-imposed prison. You know the narrative. We need the space for the grandchildren. The grandchildren visit 4 days a year. You are setting $25,000 on fire for a 4-day hotel stay. It's our neighborhood, our friends. Your friends are facing the same math and will likely be gone in 5 years. The market is good right now. Interest rates are what they are. These are excuses. Here's the truth. You are not selling a home. You are selling a cost center. You are converting a draining, illiquid, emotion-heavy brick box into liquid investable capital. The goal is to downsize your expenses, not just your square footage. I want you to move into a place where the monthly nut, tax, insurance, maintenance is cut in half. Immediately, that freed up capital gets invested in income-generating assets. The freed up cash flow stops the bleeding. This is not about moving to a smaller box. It's about moving to strategic simplicity, a condo with no exterior maintenance, a ranch in a tax-friendly state, a townhome within walking distance of everything. So you sell your second car. You do this now while you are healthy, while you have the energy to manage the move, while the market is liquid. You do not wait until you're 78 and a leaking roof forces a fire sale. You sell from a position of strength on your timeline. The action is simple. This week, you pull up your last year's worth of statements for everything related to that house, mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, lawn repairs. You add it all up, you look at that annual number, then you go online and you research what a 2-bedroom low-maintenance property would cost you in a sensible location. You compare the numbers. The difference is what your sentiment is costing you annually. If that number doesn't terrify you're not paying attention. Sell the house that fits your old life. Buy the shelter that enables your new one. The second thing you sell is any investment you cannot explain to me in one simple sentence. I don't care if it's a stock, a crypto token, a piece of land, a private equity deal your buddy offered you. If you need jargon, if you need to refer and past performance from 5 years ago, if you're relying on the genius of some fund manager you've never met, you are holding a bomb. And retirement is the moment it detonates. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing, period. When you have a paycheck, time can bail you out of stupidity. When you are retired, you are the cash flow. A 40% drop isn't a paper loss you wait to recover from. It's the money you needed for this year's living expenses. Gone. Poof. I see it all the time. The retired dentist holding 40% of his portfolio in the biotech stock that made him a fortune in 2010. He doesn't understand the science. He just knows it. Made him feel smart. Now it's down 70%, but he can't sell because that would mean admitting he got lucky, not smart. So he holds and he watches his income crumble. Or the teacher with the variable annuity so complex the prospectus is 200 pages long. She has no idea what the fees are, what the surrender charges are, but the salesman told her it was safe. It's not safe. It's incomprehensible. In retirement, complexity is the enemy. Complexity hides fees. Complexity creates uncertainty. Complexity forces you to make decisions in a panic. When the market dips your portfolio, and retirement must be boring, it must be explainable. I own this index fund for broad market growth. I own these municipal bonds for tax-free income. I own this rental property for consistent cash flow. That's it. You are not proving how clever you are. You are engineering a machine that spits out reliable cash. So here's what you do. You open your brokerage statements and you go down the list line by line. For each holding, you write down on a piece of paper the one sentence reason you own it. If your sentence starts with, well, my advisor said, or it used to, or I think it might, you have just identified a liability. You sell it, you take the capital and you move it into something so simple and boring you could explain it to a 15-year-old. Dividend paying, stocks and blue chip companies, treasury, bonds, a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. This is not about maximizing returns anymore. It is about securing predictable cash flow and preserving capital. The thrill is gone. Your job is stewardship, not speculation. Sell the mystery, buy the clarity. The third thing you sell, and this is a habit, not an asset, is your right to procrastinate. I've watched people spend 40 years being decisive in their careers, become absolute cowards when it comes to their own retirement planning. They avoid the numbers. They delay the decisions. They say, I'll figure out Medicare later, or I'm not sure about Social Security timing. I'll just take it at 65. Let me tell you what later means. Later means you're 71. You have a $7,000 unexpected dental implant bill, and you're forced to pull money from an IRA during a market bottom, locking in a loss and raising your tax bill, all because you were too lazy to model your cash flow 3 years ago. Procrastination in retirement planning isn't benign. It is actively destructive. You are choosing a worse outcome because doing the math today feels uncomfortable. You know what's more uncomfortable? Running out of money. You need to become a CEO of your own life. And CEOs make decisions with the data in front of them. You must know to the dollar your baseline annual spending, not a guess. You track it. You must understand the tax implications of every account you own, IRA, 401k, Roth brokerage. You must have a plan for healthcare costs. That doesn't just assume Medicare covers everything. It doesn't. This is a one-time engineering project. You sit down, you get the numbers, and you build the plan. I don't care if you use a spreadsheet or a financial planner, but the plan must exist and you must understand it. A plan removes emotion. A plan eliminates 100 small panic decisions every year. For example, knowing when to take Social Security. Most people take it the second they can at 62 because they see free money. That's often a terrible, irreversible mistake. You might be leaving 30% more lifetime income on the table by waiting, but you won't know unless you model it. The action is non-negotiable. In the next 2 weeks, you block off 1 4-hour session. You gather every statement. You list every income source and its start date. You list every essential expense. You find the gap. That gap is what your portfolio must cover. If the numbers don't work at your current burn rate, you have 2 choices. Work longer or cut cost now. Knowing this 5 years out gives you power. Knowing it in year 2 of retirement gives you panic. Sell the comfort of ignorance. Buy the power of a plan. Number 4, you sell your unconscious spending. Right now, your spending is likely a fossil record of your busy, stressed working life. It's the convenience purchases, the subscriptions you forgot about, the extra car, the expensive hobby you don't actually enjoy anymore, the dining out because you were too tired to cook. Your paycheck covered the waste. In retirement, there is no paycheck to cover the waste. Every dollar of waste comes directly from your finite capital base. You are literally burning the very fuel that keeps you alive for another year. I see retirees with 2 luxury car leases costing $1,800 a month when they drive 5,000 meters a year. That's insanity. That's $21,600 a year, which at a 4% withdrawal rate requires a $540,000 portfolio just to fund your parking garage. You are trading a potential $540,000 in security for a shiny hood ornament. I see people paying $300 a month for cable packages they don't watch, $200 for gyms they don't use, and another $500 on impulsive Amazon purchases that clutter their already too big house. This is not living. This is a leak in your boat, and you're bailing water with a thimble. Retirement spending must be intentional, not habitual. You must conduct an audit of pure joy. You look at every single outflow from your account and you ask the only question that matters. Does this expense actively increase my happiness or freedom today? If the answer is no, you cut it. Not trim it, cut it. You sell the second car, you cancel the redundant subscriptions, you stop eating out of laziness. This isn't about living like a pauper, it's the opposite. It's about funneling every single dollar toward what truly matters. For you, that might be travel. For you, that might be grandkids, education. For you, that might be premium healthcare. So you brutally eliminate the costs that bring no joy, and you reallocate that capital to the experiences and security that do. You are not cutting your lifestyle. You are upgrading its efficiency. The action is concrete. For the next 30 days, you track every single penny you spend. At the end of the month, you categorize it. Essentials, joyful, waste. The waste column gets eliminated. The joyful column gets analyzed. Can you get the same joy for less? The essentials column gets optimized. This process alone can find you $1,000 a month in wasted cash flow. That's $12,000 a year. You're not pulling from your savings. That's freedom. Sell the mindless drain by intentional living. The fifth and final thing you sell is the most toxic asset of all. Your identity as your job, your title, your business card, your office. These are costumes you wore for a chapter. They are not you. And if you walk into retirement thinking the purpose of your life has been turned off, you will be miserable, lost, and you will make desperate, stupid financial decisions just to feel that power again. I've seen powerful executives retire, and within 6 months, they're depressed. They're driving their spouses crazy, and they're jumping into reckless half-baked business deals just to feel the adrenaline. That's how you lose a third of your net worth in a year. You didn't lose it to the market. You lost it to an identity crisis. You need to decouple your self-worth from your business card before you leave your job. You are not the former vice president of sales. You are a person with skills, experience, and the potential for a new kind of contribution. Retirement is not the end of productivity. It is the transfer of your productivity to areas you control. Your purpose now might be mentoring. It might be a part-time consultancy in your field on your terms. It might be volunteering for a cause you care about. It might be building a perfect garden or writing a book. The key is to have the structure and the sense of contribution lined up before you walk out the door. This is a psychological sale, and it's critical for financial safety. A person with purpose doesn't make panicked financial moves to fill a void. So your final action step before you retire, you will write down 3 new identities you will try on, not hobbies. Identities: A, mentor to small business owners, a board member for a local nonprofit, an expert woodworker selling pieces at a local market. You will test one of them in the year before you retire. You build the bridge while you're still on the familiar side of the river. You sell the old title. You buy a new mission. Let me bring this together with cold finality. Retirement is not a reward. It is the most critical high-stakes financial phase of your life. You are no longer accumulating. You are distributing. And the landscape is littered with the corpses of portfolios that were killed by sentiment, complexity, procrastination, waste, and ego. You have a brief window right now to be ruthless, to sell the house that is a cost center, to sell the investments you don't understand, to sell the habit of putting off decisions, to sell the spending that brings no joy, to sell the outdated identity that will leave you lost. This is not motivational speaking. This is a tactical liquidation for survival. The wealthy don't just buy assets. They are vicious about selling liabilities at the right time. Your time is now. This is the last most important deal you will ever make. The deal you make with your future self, make it a good one. If this clarified the brutal math you need to face, then you know what to do. Like this video so it reaches someone who is still asleep, subscribe to this channel. This is not about entertainment. It's about building a community of people who face financial reality without flinching. Share it with someone who needs to hear this straight. And in the comments, tell me which of these 5 sales is going to be the hardest for you to execute. That Admi Sayan is the first step. Now, go. Look at your statements. Your future. Self is waiting, and they are out of patience.